All right. The final game in this quarterfinal, we still have kind of a control mirror. You are playing more planeswalkers. Tom is playing a bit more creatures. And this time Tom will be on the play again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at his starting hands.
Yeah, I think my hand is an easy mulligan since I only have one land and it's a wrong land.
Look at all the spicy cards.
Yeah, there are a lot of Tesh cards actually.
We see a Rune of Protection red.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I
Mono Red
assume
is
it's not for this one.
No, it's not. It's such a bad matchup, Mono Red, and I have to get rid of it.
And we also see Hide and Seek.
Yeah, that's for the Scape Shift and combo matchups because my control deck is really not suited to fight those decks really very well. So I just feel good about it, having some kind of silver bullet in my deck. And it's not a dead card against other matchups because you have the disenchant effect on the other side.
What does Hide and Seek do?
Yeah, the black-white side, search for a card in the opponent's deck and you just remove it and you gain that much life. So
that would be Valakut?
It would be Valakut or Scape Shift.
Yes.
Depends if they maybe have a Titania in play or something and you don't want to Scape Shift to ruin your day. And against like Storm or Academy, you can get the Academy or like the Tendrils. So yeah.
And the other side?
The other side puts an enchantment or artifact on the bottom of the library.
Which is also not irrelevant, right?
Exactly. Like we have a lot of targets in Highlander. Seshos, Kanta, Cursor, Sylvan Library, all this stuff.
Yeah. Crucible, as we saw.
Crucible,
maybe some answers to your planeswalkers from other players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Potential Sphere or stuff like that.
So if you could choose one card, which one would you like to have now?
You mean in this matchup?
Yeah, like look at your hand, it has lands and one specific card.
That's a good question. I didn't think about it.
Like Back to Basics seemed rather strong.
I guess. But you saw in the second game that he has a lot of basics too. He's not that deep into the other colors, I think. So I guess Back to Basics is still a good card to have. Yeah, I guess.
Do you feel like Tom is aware of this threat?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's a really good player, so I think he has that on his radar.
So this hand looks also a bit light of lands. We have, well, a Tabanaka, which is kind of strong, but not what you want right here.
Yeah, not in this matchup. Yeah, it's a really bad hand.
And Tom does have the lands, but as you can see, the spells are only, well, somewhat positive because there are no counter spells. They're all white, basic vanilla creatures.
Yeah, that's exactly the hand I want Tom to have against my deck. Like just stupid creatures, already dead card with the Wrath of God.
Like look at this hand if you just have a mode or something, right?
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, he thinks that it's good enough because he doesn't want to go to 6. And on the draw, I can see that being a really bad thing. So yeah, I guess he has to.
I mean, yeah, but the question is like, what is his plan to aggro you out? Like,
I mean, I guess
it also is at the mercy of your draw. Like if you draw something that's really relevant, like he plays Kitchen Finks, you play Planeswalker that deals with it or something, then that looks really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not quite sure. Like this is a very tough choice.
Yeah, I mean that's always the decision you have to make, right? Is your own deck good enough that you can go to 6 and come out of this disadvantage you have?
But from the point, I would say there are 3 lands, which is fine. There are 3 cards with Kitchen Fix, Gideon, and Batterskull, which are medium.
Kitchen Fix is not the worst because I think he wants some kind of threat at turn 3 if it's a click or Nemesis or Geist. I mean, Kitchen Fix is for sure the worst one.
Kitchen Fix is clearly one of the better cards.
Right? Yeah, like for the 3 drops, but he wants a Nemesis or a Geist, I think.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, from the options of Kitchen Things, Gideon and Batterskull, it's the better.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you already have a mulligan because of the Wrath of God.
Yeah, that's true.
So, that's a hand you must be very happy with.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of the detention sphere, but yeah. I mean, at least I have an answer for this first threat, I hope. So.
And there we see Elspeth.
Yeah, it's interesting. Elspeth doesn't seem too bad with the with the Supreme Will on curve, but yeah, I think okay.
Could just do better.
Not a fan.
Ooh.
Oh, and yeah, there's the mode, which is really a huge draw.
Well, at one point when you're sitting there, you say like, mode, I guess kind of fair, but you have no idea how good it will be.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm thinking, oh my god, mode. For instance, if that mode would be in the preordain, I would just go right to the bottom, of course. But since it was a top card.
So is that actually one of those rare moments where you would consider yourself lucky?
No.
Or is that no?
I mean, it's an interesting instance of of luck, I guess. If you see it from that point, yeah, I guess maybe it's lucky because it comes together, right? Me having the mode and him having only like turtle creatures.
I mean, in the end, we can do like a little mind exercise and see how the game would have played out if you don't play mode, which you probably will as soon as there's a Kitchen Finks on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping Boros Signet, and I think you also kept the Revelation.
I think so, yeah, because I have 4 mana already with the Signet. And it's a nice curve. Turn 2 the Signet for Mulligan to 6. It's a really nice curve.
Yeah, also Revelation is something you can just cast for 2 at the opponent's turn, and you say like, well, it's a divination. What are you gonna do about it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's 90% of the case. Like 90% of the cases, I play the Revelation for 2.
Yeah.
And maybe I should just play this the draw 3 for 5 mana spell instead.
Jace's Ingenuity?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, there are cases where you just say like, okay, I will just draw 7.
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, also a bad card, like from an
good point of view.
Good point of view. Like it's not a card I want in my deck.
And there we go. And now look at some. Man, that hand got so devalued.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, he plays Nemesis, he plays Geist, so that's also that shutting down, which is nice. I guess it's a bit redundant with the Supreme Verdict, but yeah, it's really nice too.
Well, I mean, Supreme Verdict wouldn't have done as much, right?
No.
You could have got Kitchen Finks once. You could have not gotten Gideon.
Yeah.
Like Better Skull gets back. Tom now really needs to draw something, and Search was kind of such a good draw. Wow.
Yeah. It's a good draw. For certain a card which can get back.
I'm not sure there would have been a better card. Like maybe something that gets rid of mode or something. Jace, but yeah, but like Surge is one of the top 5s, I assume. And well, you're not doing any worse. Welcome to the fold.
Such a nice Jace.
Well, you're always taking the land, right? And at this point, where you say, even if I get 2 cards for that.
Since I have the Revelation and already an answer for the Search Force counter, I'm just going for the land here.
Yeah, and since you didn't play a land, Tom kind of sniffed out at you.
But that's always the case. I will always hold back my land in that case. So my opponent thinks I value lands higher than the cards, just to get the 1%.
You would get force spiked.
That's true. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, if it's a crucial spot, I wouldn't do that. But yeah. And now we see why Search Force Counter is so strong, right? Not only was it a good play on curve, not on curve, but having just a good card in this spot, but also you can get rid of the dead cards now, like 2-name Nemesis.
Yeah, like with mode in play, there are some cards that were dead before, but are also dead now. All the creatures, everything that tries to, like Gideon, tries to put some pressure on. There's not much pressure if you ignore the ground, right? I mean, how easy is it to get a few power in the air? There's not many options.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, top side looks really terrible right now.
I have to say, like, this matchup, at least from this game, just feels very weird. You're always tapping out in your turn.
Yeah,
you don't really like play counter spells, as we see now. You drew a counter spell, but that's not how usual control deck mirrors go.
No, usually no, it doesn't. Yeah, it's like just tap out control, like we often see in standard, right? By the way, would you like I played the Jace last turn, and now I played the Sphinx Evolution since he was tapped out. Would have you, like, did you consider playing the Detention Sphere instead for the Search for Skunter?
Yeah, I see that being a huge benefit because as soon as Escanta gets to be a land, it gets much harder, right?
Mm.
Because then your only out is maybe Wasteland. I don't know, probably Tectonic Edge if you play that.
I play Ghost, Field of
Ghost
Runes. No, Field
Beautiful.
of
Oh, of
yeah,
course,
exactly.
yes. So,
Um,
but
I,
it gets much harder to find those cards.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I have the Nahiri for the Ascanta now with the counter backup. So,
Yeah, I think assessing this position and where you feel like your opponent is not doing much, when they cast Gideon in your mode, I'm not sure that you're going to be afraid of anything that's coming.
no, not really.
So I think removing Iskandar is a valid choice.
Hmm.
But of course, now you just say, why remove it with my mediocre spell if I can just play a Planeswalker instead? And there's going to be a remand, but I'm pretty sure you're not letting that happen. You must be very sure that there are no other counter spells.
Yeah.
And bam, gone. Yeah, and this one is also pretty lucked. You look at Tom's hand. The only thing that might be very good if there's now a way to get rid of mode. And actually, as we see, there is a way.
Yeah, and he can
It,
get rid of both Planeswalkers, yeah.
it's not permanent, but it's at least something. Yes, Cryptic Command must be bouncing the mode.
Mm.
You see, like the majestic play.
I mean, it's a foil Cryptic Command, so it's even more impressive. Yeah, but luckily for me, I have the Path of Exile, so I can decide which Planeswalker is going to live.
So, which one do you want to keep?
Yeah, that's a good question. Since I don't have many card advantage cards right now in my hand, but I
Jace,
also have cards like Supreme Verdict, which I actually don't want to
Jace
keep.
is on one, right?
Jace is on one,
So
so I
it
think
takes him a few turns to.
yeah, to get the card. So I think Nahiri is better at this spot. Also because she gets rid of other permanents, which might be problematic. Like, I don't know, maybe he plays a detention sphere of his own, or I don't know, something like this. So let's see.
Let's see what I did.
I can't remember. Yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
did this. Nice. I'm consistent with myself. Sweet.
So at this point, you're saying my opponent is playing kind of mediocre stuff to temporarily get rid of my board, but
Mm.
your card advantage is just so like set in stone right now.
Yeah.
You should feel very comfortable. It feels a bit like from the deck building point of view that Tom's deck is a bit safer against creatures, a
Mm-hmm.
bit more resilient because he also plays all of those very good cards against creatures, as we see here now, Gideon, Kitchen Finks, and Better Skull that have an impact on the board.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads to a situation where he lacks a lot of the late game, right?
Yeah. For sure.
And you, from the other hand, say like, well, I just cross my fingers and hope I draw a Supreme Verdict pretty early. And
Yeah, I
then,
mean, I play cards like Condemn and the 3-mana Gideon and Perfoweed Notes, a lot of stuff which actually helps me to get in the late game or mid game. So, and I'm also playing Mode and Humility to get rewarded for not playing creatures like Kitchen Finks or Nemesis. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And then, but you also allow yourself to play much heavier value options from all the counter spells and the planeswalkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Because protecting a planeswalker, here we see one of those 11s, which we didn't see yet, is much better than just a mere creature.
For sure.
For sure. So do you
So, yeah.
consider playing the mode now again?
Yeah, because I think I want to tap down his Black Source, but I think, yeah, actually I don't go for the Black Source.
At the same time, you say like, what could possibly go wrong?
I guess I want to have my Supreme Will open. So, yeah.
So what are you afraid of now? Like from this point, instead of saying, okay, how do I win this game? You're at a point where you have to figure out how do I possibly lose?
Yeah, I think something like Council Judgment, which I don't know, a card which kind of gets him back in the game, but is also not able to being targeted by my Detention Sphere or Cast Out, I guess. But since I have, I mean, both Planeswalker right now are a threat, right? Because Ajani threatens the Armageddon and Nahiri threatens the Emrakul. So he needs to have two answers, and yeah, I don't know what could get him back. I mean, a J is for sure, but since I already have the counterspell for that.
Not gonna happen. Yeah. Thoughts go for Mana Tide? Those come out of favor.
Yeah, I think so.
Whiteboarded preordain. Is that a thing?
Seems like it. I mean, there are crazy people out there, right? Who
Yes.
Like order their cards to
I
wild
mean,
order ones.
I have gotten so many looks on the Pro Tour. Man, people were like, what the fuck did you do? I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say that, but it happened.
Oh, it happened. Oh, by the way, Elspeth is a nice card to come back, right? Against the mode.
There's 6 mana Elspeth.
No, the 4-mana
Oh,
one.
yeah, I
You
see
just
it.
do.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, like, it needs to be something that you cannot deal with. And at this point, you can deal with Elspeth like 4 different times. So
Yeah.
you're probably having this locked up, and given, I don't know, something very ridiculous. Like,
Me just saying yes resolves.
yeah, I'm not even sure. Like, maybe your opponent gets rid of the Planeswalkers and casts Armageddon or something.
Yeah, if I
Maybe an
wouldn't,
Emrakul. I guess that's a point, right? Emrakul must be one of those.
you mean on Tom's side?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a nice card for sure.
Like, Emrakul would just wreck your whole board, especially, and this is very dangerous, if you go up to Ajani 7, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, there could be a scenario where I can cycle my cast out and yeah, okay. Just game. But yeah, Emrakul, as always, would be a nice card to draw. Okay, so that was that.
So Johnny wins 2-1 and advances to the semifinals, which you conveniently also see in one of the next videos.